Again, a bit about coronavirus. I have just watched an interesting video put on the Malaysian channel to YouTube, and there was the counter online and live. The counter of cases of catching coronavirus and death by coronavirus. So what's interesting is that all those numbers are of course the official governmental numbers, and I have just a couple of things to say. First and foremost, one thing, that those numbers should be regarded with utmost skepticism, because the countries have, which is now obvious, they use totally different philosophy when they are counting the deaths. So, for instance, the German doctors, when somebody was already diagnosed for some serious illness, an ongoing illness, and if this people was also infected with coronavirus and this person also dies, the German doctors don't have the habit of writing down the coronavirus as the cause of death. They will put those pre-existing conditions, they would put these ongoing illnesses in this on this paper, not coronavirus. And in the same time, the Italians, for instance, they have the tendency to put coronavirus on everything. When people are dying, and the most also when the people, for instance, are catching coronavirus, and that means death to them, but exactly as good they could have catched, for instance, influenza, flu, and also die because of it. So weak is their biological system. So the Italians have the tendency of overwriting and the overcounting, and the Germans undercounting. And then can explain that, for instance, whereas Germany has a, well, now not so much similar, because it's a more densely populated nation and country, but still similar number of cases with coronavirus as France has. They have far less death cases because of not because there is really less of a problem there, but I was wondering about it, but no, they just count differently. In Poland we have, in Germany there's something like 35,000 cases now. In France it's like 27,000, something like this. In Poland we have 900 cases, and we use a method of counting death cases, which is also different, because we know that I think those were 9 people died in Poland because of coronavirus. Those were all old people with different medical problems. So we don't use the German method, but we apparently also don't use the Italian method. So we must really remember. And the Russians, who were claiming for a long time they have only 20, now they have 500. The Ukrainians from 3 to it went to 100, and the number of the cases now that 3 claimed by the Ukrainian government now is 3 death cases. So the biggest problem is the United States, but the biggest problem is in China, of course, then Italy, then United States. United States because of its large population mostly, but per capita it's not such a big problem as in the Western Europe, like France, Spain, Germany. In the Middle East, the main problematic region is Iran. So But we must remember that all those governments, they have different, it's not really propaganda, because sometimes we are bombarded with propaganda, but no, in this case it's rather